And tonight we have a little video we're going to show you, and we're going to get to that clip here right now.
This is Sarah Palin speaking at the NRA. She's gotten a lot of heat for this, but I just kind of love her spunk and love her spirit. You know, and I tweeted out a link to this little clip, and people accused me of supporting torture. Ladies and gentlemen, waterboarding is not torture. Waterboarding is not torture. You've heard that. You've been told that. But remember, when this first came to light, you had these college campuses all over America. People were doing these waterboarding demonstrations. They'd meet out in the plaza. They'd have a guy lay down on a board, and they'd waterboard. They'd put the towel over his face. They'd pour the water through the towel into his open mouth, and he'd cough and he'd hack, and everybody would talk about how horrible this thing. That's not torture. I mean, it may not be pleasant. It may not be fun, but it's not torture. The guy's not going to die. The guy's not going to drown, and you know it. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. I mean, if it was real torture, where you get pliers and pull a guy's fingernails out, or you take hook battery chargers up to a battery and stick them on exposed flesh, that's torture. You don't see him doing that on college campuses to demonstrate because that's genuine torture. Waterboarding is not. So I think she's just being cute there. We're a Christian nation. This is a ritual. It's important to us. We know you don't. So I was just having a little bit of fun with it, supporting waterboarding. And she's been accused of being, I don't know, a heretic or flippant or whatever. I think she's being clever and funny myself, and maybe people ought to just kind of lighten up just a little bit.
Oh, lighten up. Well, first off, Brian, one, we're not a Christian nation. Two, waterboarding is a ritual? Well, then why do we waterboard you and see how much of a torture you don't think it is? It may be unpleasant, Brian, but it's not torture. We're not going to, pull your fingernails out or anything. Oh, this man is such a fucking lunatic. Joe, your thoughts?
Now, are we talking about Sarah Palin?
You know, we're talking about Brian Fischer, who loves Palin's water torturing thing. Wherever you want to go with it, Joe, just take it and run.
So he was talking about Sarah Palin's comments, because that's what I watched.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because, she was at some conservative function, and she said that waterboarding terrorists was how we baptize them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is just, crazy and outrageous. I think that they should put Sarah Palin quotes inside fortune cookies. And that way, when you finish your chow mein, you crack open a cookie and you read gems like, if you control arms, you control the people in bed. Or, put the fear of God in your enemies in bed. Or, I can see Russia from my bed. I mean, Duncan's like unfortunate cookies.
Those would definitely be unfortunate cookies.
I mean, I think we've talked about it on the show before. I mean, I think it's so amazing how much of a political celebrity Sarah Palin is when she quit her job as governor of Alaska to be on a reality TV show that didn't get renewed. I mean, she had one job. The voters put her in office, and she quit.
Yep.
She quit in her first term. She didn't even finish the term. And before that, she was just like a local mayor. So it's like, really? And, the fact is, everybody knows that she's not known for her deep thoughts or her knowledge and prowess of issues.
Well, Brian Fischer thinks he does, or thinks she does, because, but of course...
Yeah, he's talking her up there.
Yeah, he's like, I think she was just being cute. Oh, I suppose let's just put this another spin, Brian. Let's just say that Obama was going to say, we're going to waterboard Republicans or whatever, because it's not torture, but he would be all over that in a heartbeat,
Right. Well, maybe he should get waterboarded and decide if it's torture after that.
That's what I said, too.
Because Christopher Hitchens subjected himself to it, because he was kind of on the fence beforehand, and then they waterboarded him. And afterwards, he was like, "Yeah, that is absolutely torture.
Absolutely.
There is no doubt about it. That is torture."
Yes.
I felt like I was about to die.
Yeah, and that's what I said too. I mean, he doesn't think it's torture, so we should waterboard him. Come on, Brian, put your money where your mouth is.
He should volunteer himself.
That's right.
He should say okay, it's not torture, so I'm just going to do it myself.
Right.
Just like Christopher Hitchens had the nuts to stand up and do.
Right.
And I doubt Brian Fisher would ever do that.
No, he won't. No,
Brian Fisher, and he's a fuckhead.
Right. He won't put his money where his mouth is, because he's all mouth and he's no action. And Brian Fischer, prove that you're an actual human being and submit yourself to being waterboarded. I challenge you. Packard Pokes At is challenging Brian Fischer to get waterboarded to prove it's not torture. And I hope they pick that up and play it, because I'm challenging you, Brian. I'm challenging you. Take it.
And now I've got the Brian Fischer answering machine stuck in my head.
Connie, your thoughts?
Hello, Taliban! Been a while, we haven't said it.
Well, the problem with Sarah Palin is she's vapid and she just spouts off sound bites and has no thought or care for the fact that she is looked up to be some person as a public speaker.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to exercise better care with what she says. She's just very flippant, and I can't stand her. But as far as Brian Fischer, evidently he's taking notes from Lethal Weapon movies on how to torture people, and that bothers me a lot. I did look up
Diplomatic immunity.
What? I'm sorry, what? Go ahead. What'd you say, Joe?
I'm sorry, I said diplomatic immunity. It's just different folks. Greatest moment.
I just want to break in here real quick. Dawkins Dog said she was on a reality TV show when she doesn't even live in reality. So.
Well, she lives near Russia. We know that.
Yeah. I can see Russia from my house. Well, she didn't actually say that. But
I did ask the question, though, have people drowned with waterboarding?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I found was waterboarding can cause extreme pain, dry drowning, lung damage, brain damage with excessive oxygen deprivation, broken bones if people struggle against the restraints, the psychological damage that can last years, and yes, death. And there's an extreme risk of sudden death due to aspiration of vomit. Dry drowning is a persistence of a laryngospasm. When immersed in fluid, the person effectively drowns without any sort of liquid. It's like the flap does not open up. There's a vacuum created, I guess, in the lungs, and so people do die from this. And John McCain claimed in 2007 that the U.S. hanged Japanese soldiers for waterboarding U.S. prisoners of war. Waterboarding was evidently first used in the Spanish Inquisition, and honestly, as I looked at the list of times and places that waterboarding's been used, it's not a happy, joy thing. It's not, and it's meant as a form of torture. And the fact that Brian Fischer wants to be flippant to give his little hard-on, calendar girl some kind of a pass, I go, what kind of a asshole are you? Evidently, the very, very large kind. So,
yes.
Yeah, I agree. Fisher, let's see you volunteer to be waterboarded and see how you feel about it.
Oh, yeah, Brian, yeah. The thing is, though, you said it causes brain damage. Well, that wouldn't affect Brian. He's already got brain damage.
Well,
yeah.
we can just keep that to ourselves.
Right. Torvian in the chat room said he probably pays a male prostitute to waterboard him every weekend.
One of those autoerotic asphyxiation kind of guys, huh?
Yeah. It is torture. It is torture, and it shouldn't be done.
But not if you're getting jerked off while they do it to you.
Right. Then it's a whole other story.
Right. Then it's erotic.
That's right.
Now I'm seeing Fisher in one of those black leather things, and it's just ugly.
Let's
go back to talking about exploding bodies. Okay?
Yeah. And then the whale just blew up all over the place.
What is this, sperm whale? Oh,
poor sperm whale.